Exodus, a new sci-fi choice-heavy role-playing game, was announced at the Game Awards, and they've been doing dev Q&As for the last few weeks based on fan questions. And while these questions mostly re-emphasize things we already knew, they did reveal a few new pieces of information. Starting with the most important one, the protagonist of Exodus will be voiced. The protagonist, known as the Traveler, will also be customizable. I assume this also includes gender options, which means the protagonist will be fully customizable and voiced. There are these 3 images associated with the Traveler title on the Exodus website. I assume the 2 on the right are maybe already customized versions of the protagonist, but not sure what this creepy creature on the left is. The man in this picture also has a warped right arm, which aligns with what we see in the gameplay portion of the trailer. In the trailer, we see the protagonist interact with these particles that allow you to use them in combat. And we know from the website that our traveler, June Aslan, is the main protagonist. If you're unfamiliar with the story behind June, here is a brief summary. June was genetically engineered as humanity's last hope. Our mother, Ava, is a celestial, and our father is Orion Aslan. He is a legendary traveler and is the ruler of Lydon. June is from Lydon, a planet that seems to be suffering from what is known as the Rot. The Rot is slowly killing Lydon and is an ancient celestial technovirus which humans seem to be unable to stop, hence why June was created. With human and celestial heritage, June is able to access celestial technology with the gift of neural induction from our mother Ava. Because of this neural induction, we are able to use celestial technology unlike other humans. With that backstory of June, the protagonist, here is more context into the world which Exodus takes place in. In roughly 41,500 AD, a long-lost human ark arrives in the Malak Bell system and establishes a colony on the moon Lydon, which is built on top of celestial ruins left long ago by the Detoneer. After 2 centuries of struggling to survive, Orion Aslan, our father, becomes Lydon's leader. Orion becomes a traveler and a hero and makes many expeditions in search of advanced celestial technology to help elevate Lydon's society. With this technology, he establishes the Aslan dynasty and has a powerful network of loyal followers to rule over Lydon while he is absent during his expeditions. In 2476, Lydon reckoning by the Old Earth continuous calendar, our protagonist June Aslan is born and is considered the perfect heir. Shortly after June is born, our father Orion leaves on another expedition and never returns. Our brother Gideon Aslan sees this as the perfect opportunity to seize control of the Aslan dynasty and declare himself the ruler of Lydon. Because of this, we, June Aslan, are forced into hiding as a child. So that is the story of our character, who we will be able to shape and mold. With this storyline, I feel like we will eventually run into our father Orion, and that he will help guide our journey, and that he will be voiced by Matthew McConaughey. McConaughey played the dad in Interstellar, and I think that would be nice to mirror in this game, since they seem to be using Interstellar as a major source of inspiration. They also talk about McConaughey in the dev Q&A, who they say plays a mentorship type of role, with insight to the decisions you've made and will be making moving forward. Sounds like the type of relationship I'd expect from someone who is already a traveler and is familiar with the world we're going to be in. So yeah, I think Matthew McConaughey is going to play Orion Aslan. In the dev Q&A, they also talk about how important the companions will be to our protagonist. In an interview, they said that the companions would be a major pillar in every aspect of the game, from combat to exploration. They said companions are a huge part of the experience in Exodus, specifically saying, "This is a game about your relationship with your companions and the world, and you'll be able to roleplay with your companions in all sorts of different ways, and roleplaying with the important leaders of your world." They will be unveiling the companions in the coming months, they said, which is a really interesting way to introduce characters like this, and I'm intrigued to see what the companions will be like. There are currently 4 silhouettes on the website, one which has been revealed to be Tom Vargas from the trailer, one that looks of alien origin, one possible human, and this last one looks like it might be this human in a mech from the trailer. Seems like these will be revealed over the next few months, and I wonder if they'll be introducing more since 4 seems kind of like a small roster. Several of the Q&A questions were about the narrative approach to their time dilation, choice, and consequence focus, and it sounds like they really want these choices to heavily impact your playthroughs. The endings will be different, yes, but the game playthroughs themselves are supposed to be entirely different as well. Your decisions will be over the course of decades and centuries. The devs say that the choices are very magnified, and if they are genuinely able to pull this off, it would be very impressive. This sounds like a major project though. All the branching narratives with choice and consequence, especially if this is supposed to span through entire lifetimes. I hope that they can pull this off, because it would be great to have more games that emphasize choice and consequence, but I do worry about the scope of what they're implying here, just because they're promising a lot. Only time will tell if they're successful with this, but I'm rooting for them because that's the type of game I want to play. This game will also be heavily based in real science. As I stated before, time dilation on a small scale already exists, but it sounds like they're going to emphasize that concept even more. They also say they're heavily influenced by Star Wars and Dune, and from previous IPs they've worked on. And of course, they've pulled influences from Mass Effect and other bioware titles, as both devs in the Q&A, James Olin and Chad Robertson, are longtime bioware veterans. They also say that they've worked with some big sci-fi authors that they will be revealing soon. Another important point they're emphasizing is that this world is intended to house many future stories, and they want to make this world where many stories can be told throughout many games. Another thing that they revealed about the setting of Exodus is that the game will take place in the Omega Centauri galaxy. And people did ask if this will take place in the Milky Way galaxy, and the answer is kind of, but not really. The Omega Centauri contains roughly 10 million stars and is considered a globular cluster orbiting the edge of the Milky Way galaxy. The stars in Omega Centauri are between 10 billion and 12 billion years old. Additionally, the Omega Centauri is about 10 times larger than other globular clusters, and scientists have speculated that it may be a dwarf galaxy that has been stripped of its outer stars and has essentially been consumed by the Milky Way galaxy. And the Omega Centauri galaxy actually has an elusive and rare intermediate massive black hole in its center, which fits with the reveal trailer having supermassive black hole playing over it as well. So I presume this black hole will most likely have a part in the game. And I'm glad they're leaving the Milky Way so that they can essentially do whatever they want, especially if they're building a world intended to be explored for years to come. Omega Centauri seems like the possibilities are endless. The NASA site also says that if anyone lived in the Omega Centauri, they would behold a star-saturated sky that is roughly 100 times brighter than Earth's sky, which might give some insight into what the world of Exodus will look like. In the final shot from the extended trailer, we do see another planet or two, but I don't see a bunch of bright stars. So who knows? Something about Exodus that really interests me is that they are actually focusing on building a community in hopes of introducing a fanbase to their universe and getting fan feedback as well. The way they're releasing information is pretty unique. They've already released a ton of information about the lore and the world that they're building. They're investing in establishing fans very early on with small details that will most likely follow through and be in the main game for the fans who are invested now. I really love that interaction between the devs and the fans. They're investing with their small stories, clips about the game, and these dev Q&As. And I don't think I've seen other studios do this. Ultimately, the dev questions didn't reveal too much, but mostly emphasized aspects they've already revealed about the game and reiterated the importance of choice and consequence and building a lasting universe. Everything that they've revealed has me excited, and I'm glad to see that they're taking fan feedback so early on. I really do hope this game is everything that they're promising. I know gamers are hesitant to get invested in titles before they release these days, which I understand, but I'm all in on Exodus. Everything I've seen about this game excites me, and I hope it's as good as it sounds. If you're interested in more Exodus content, I've made 2 other videos going deep into the lore they've provided on their website, as well as the interviews they've already done about the game. So if you're interested in the world of Exodus and want to learn more, you can watch my other videos and make sure to check out their website. I also just want to say that in one of my videos, I said that humans fled Earth due to the technovirus called the Rot, but we don't actually know why humans were fleeing Earth, other than the fact that Earth was dying. The technovirus called the Rot is of celestial origin and seems like an active issue we'll be dealing with on Light On. So just remember that if you watch the video. The dev Q&A also revealed that they'll be revealing more information this month, and that the companions will be revealed over the next couple of months. So it seems like they'll slowly be revealing more and more information about the game over the next few months. It also seems like this month, we'll also find out what other sci-fi authors they've worked with as well. And we know that Drew Karpyshyn is their lead writer, but I don't know if we know any other writers working on Exodus. So I'm excited to find out more. I'll be covering all of this, so make sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with Exodus. I'll also put the dev questions here at the end of the video in case you missed them, but they are up on the Exodus YouTube channel. Let me know what you think about all of this. For me, the top reveal in these questions is that we will have a voiced protagonist, which I personally prefer over non-voiced. Do you prefer voiced or non-voiced like Baldur's Gate 3 or Dragon Age Origins? Let me know in the comments and be on the lookout for more Exodus content soon. And no, I don't work for Exodus or Archetype Entertainment, which a few people have asked me in the comments. I'm just excited about a new sci-fi game. And a special thank you to my channel members. I'll be introducing some new rewards this coming year, so thank you so much for all your support. Thank you for watching, and Happy New Year!
Hi, welcome to the Exodus Game Founders Q&A. The Founders Program is a community program where you can join us now at exodusgame.com for exclusive in-game rewards and more.
Well, yes, of course, that's the core of the game. So the ending is something that we're putting a lot of work into, and it's pretty awesome. Time dilation and how it impacts the choices you make in the game is the core of the game. It's what Exodus is all about. So yes, it's you're going to be able to make momentous decisions, and you're going to be able to see the results of those decisions over the course of years, decades, and even centuries.
You can learn more about Exodus by going to our website, exodusgame.com. There's tons of great information there, and including some lore that we've taken a lot of time to curate and get ready for you, so you can learn more about the depth of the story, the depth of the background of the universe, and hopefully be excited about being on this journey with us. I think the idea with time dilation and the opportunity to bring that to players in a way where the consequences of their choices are going to be so magnified is kind of overwhelming in an exciting way for us as game makers. Ultimately, that plus the freedom to really build a game in the way that we view to make a great player experience has always been something we've wanted to do. And doing it together and with this amazing studio that we've got has been a great opportunity and kind of a lifelong dream.
So I've been interested in time dilation since I was a kid and read about it because it's pretty crazy, the concept of time dilation. And another thing is just having the freedom to build the games that you want to build. That's awesome. That's what everyone wants when they get into the games industry.
Yeah, companions are a huge part of the experience in Exodus. We're super excited by the palette that we're bringing to bear for all players. And we've got an exciting plan to unveil those over the coming months, and we think fans will be excited by them. But the answer is absolutely yes.
The game is definitely not linear. That's not the style of game that we've ever been interested in making. It's a game where you make choices. not only will your choices impact the fate of your people and world, but also you're going to have the freedom to explore this new universe the way you want to explore it. That's always a very important factor in a role-playing game. So definitely not linear. So you're going to be able to do all kinds of different role-playing. This is a game about your relationship not only with your companions, but the people of your world. And so you're going to be able to role-play with your companions in all sorts of different ways. And you're also going to be role-playing with the important leaders of your world. You're going to see and hear about the impacts of your decisions through, well, we do have a famous person who was announced with the game. And hey, Chad, how do you refer to that again with Matthew's character?
He's going to play somewhat of a mentorship role to you and kind of giving you insight into the choices you've made, and then ultimately probably influence the decisions you make going ahead in the rest of the game, because you're going to have insight from him that you wouldn't otherwise have.
Well, I wouldn't really call it a war between the Celestials and humans because, well, the humans would lose that war instantaneously. The humans are the underdogs in the cluster, and the Celestials possess technological prowess that far exceeds anything that any human civilization could match. It's really a situation where humans are at the very bottom of the food chain in this galaxy. There's, there's different mediums. Interstellar obviously was a movie that was very inspirational. From Dune as a book and a movie was very inspirational. We've also drawn from the IPs that we've worked on in the past, and we've worked on quite a few IPs. So as a fan, science fiction, I love it, and obviously my number one is going to be Star Wars. Number two is Frank Herbert's Dune, and number three, I can't say because, well, it would spoil some of the things we're going to talk about in January. Oh yeah, we've taken the development of this science fiction universe very seriously, and the science behind any of the features within the universe is something that we've definitely thought about. But more importantly, we've been working with some of the best science fiction authors in the world, some of the best directors and concept artists, and we're going to talk more about that in January, actually, who those people are. It is the Omega Centauri, which is classified as a globular cluster, but is also called a galaxy. It's an ancient and very unusual kind of galaxy. You can read up on it. It's very cool, and we picked it for a reason. And I think it will allow us to tell lots of cool stories for years or decades, hopefully.
There's so many. I mean, we're active gamers ourselves, so a lot of stuff that we've played over the last bunch of years. I think I'd start at the basis of the kind of games we've made before in our careers, gives us that foundation. RPGs with choice and consequence, where choices really matter, is probably one of the biggest driving parts of it. But then inspiration in terms of current stuff, everything from the Horizon Zero Dawn series to Tomb Raiders, up to even things like from Naughty Dog like Last of Us. Like the quality bar that each of those brings to their different facets of the game are things we look at and hope we can bring into the experience that players will love with Exodus. We're just fans of them. They're awesome. They're rockers that make great music. Ultimately, we also felt like their fandom for science fiction and for games, because they're gamers themselves, really maps well with what we're trying to do with Exodus. And ultimately, I don't know, it fits what we're doing really nicely. Like if you watch that trailer, the tempo of it, the drive of it all just really maps in really nicely, and we're excited about having them as partners in our first journey with the first trailer that you saw. Balance is the key word there for us. Like we've always felt like a great narrative will drive and carry the player experience overall, so that the minute-to-minute supports it, makes the player feel like they're part of it and an active participant in what's going on in their player experience overall. Yeah, in the game the protagonist is voiced. We want players to feel that identity and connection to the player, and voice is a key part of that to make it feel immersive. We're super excited to have sci-fi fans join us on this journey. It's something we're passionate about, and ultimately I think a lot of the things that motivate us to make a great experience for players is driven by the universe that we've created here, and we're hoping that you enjoy it too.
We are also huge sci-fi fans, and we want to make a game for you that you're going to love and that hopefully you remember decades from now. And it's a game where we really are focusing on choice and consequences, and that will be evident when you get to the end of the game, which I hope you and your friends are talking about years and years from now.
The reason we're sitting here talking is because we're passionate about what we're doing, but we also really value, we worked on some games that we're really proud to have been part of in our careers, but one of the biggest lessons we learned was building a community actually helps us in so many ways. It helps motivate us, but it also helps give us feedback on the things that we're doing that ideally will make the game that much better. So spending this time now to help get you introduced to our universe is really important to us. We're not doing this just to, attract people to what we're doing. It's about building a community now that's with us for the long haul, to stay with us for the long haul. We would love this game to be something that we're still talking about 10 years from now as players and as developers for it, and that you're enjoying just as much 10 years from now or more than even today.